The finale of Our Sticky Love wraps up every storyline with a hopeful ending, but its most heartbreaking moment isn't the wedding or the romantic proposal. Instead, it's the revelation that Sang-il discovers Tae-ha is his biological son just moments before taking his own life, a truth that Tae-ha himself never learns. Rather than ending with revenge, the series becomes a story about breaking generational trauma, choosing forgiveness over violence, and finally allowing its characters to live for themselves instead of their pasts. After years of resentment, Sang-il flees with Tae-ha pursuing him. When Tae-ha corners him with a gun, it seems as though history is about to repeat itself, with one broken man killing another. Instead, everything changes when Eun-se intervenes. As she begs both men to stop, Sang-il is confronted not only by Tae-ha, but by memories of his own past. Flashbacks remind him why his life unraveled in the first place. Once a talented boxer, he destroyed his own career by cheating because he believed honest work would never give him the success he wanted. Gambling debts, greed, and desperation led him deeper into crime until he abandoned Hyo-soo and even rejected the baby she brought to meet him. That decision haunted him for the rest of his life. At the crucial moment, Hyo-soo's words returned to him. She once told him he already lost because there were things that could never be won with dirty money. Only then does Sang-il realize the devastating truth. The man standing in front of him is his son. Instead of continuing the cycle of violence by killing Tae-ha or forcing Tae-ha to become a murderer, Sang-il turns the gun on himself. It's the first selfless decision he's ever made. One of the finale's saddest twists is that Tae-ha never discovers Sang-il is his biological father. Sang-il pieces everything together before his death, but he keeps that knowledge to himself. Throughout the series, Sang-il unknowingly shared drinks, meals, and conversations with his own son. One emotional flashback shows Tae-ha explaining why he attended Sang-il's father's funeral despite barely knowing him. Tae-ha admits that although his own father died before he was born, he always wished he could have met him just once, whether he was a good man or not. Neither of them realizes they're actually talking about each other. By the time Sang-il understands the truth, he believes revealing it would only burden Tae-ha with even more pain. Instead, he dies, allowing Tae-ha to continue believing he had no father, rather than forcing him to reconcile with a criminal responsible for so much suffering. It's a tragic act of redemption that asks whether some truths are acts of healing or simply new wounds. Sang-il never receives the traditional happy ending. He cannot undo abandoning Hyo-soo. He cannot become the father his son deserved. He cannot erase years spent choosing money over family, but he finally does something different. Throughout his life, he constantly chose himself. In his final moments, he chooses Tae-ha. By sacrificing himself instead of continuing the violence, Sang-il ensures his son can finally escape the criminal world without carrying the guilt of killing his own father. It's the one decision Hyo-soo would have wanted him to make. Tae-ha's grandmother gives him a pair of boxing gloves while reminding him of the dreams his mother once had for him. Earlier in life, Tae-ha abandoned boxing because he needed money to pay for his grandmother's cancer treatment. That sacrifice pushed him into gang life, changing the course of his entire future. The gloves represent the life Tae-ha was forced to give up. His grandmother apologizes because she spent years carrying guilt over the hardships he endured for her sake. When she encourages him to follow the river toward the sea, she's telling him to stop living only for everyone else. For the first time, Tae-ha is allowed to choose happiness instead of survival. One of the finale's most emotional scenes comes when Tae-ha introduces Eun-se to his late mother. Rather than giving a grand speech, he tells his mother that Eun-se is the woman he loves. Later, Eun-se complains that he could have bragged about her beauty, intelligence, or career as a prosecutor. Tae-ha's response reveals how much he's changed. None of those things matter. To him, Eun-se herself is happiness. After spending his life believing he existed only to protect others, Tae-ha allows himself to admit what he wants. His proposal is his declaration that he's finally ready to build the future instead of constantly surviving the past. The wedding seems interrupted by bad weather. Instead, the rain becomes one of the finale's strongest symbols. Earlier in the series, rain represented loneliness. It reminded Tae-ha of facing life's hardest moments alone. Standing beside Eun-se during the unexpected shower transforms that meaning entirely. She promises he'll never stand in another storm by himself. Rather than running for cover, everyone joins them outside. The rain no longer represents suffering, it represents healing. The thing that once symbolized isolation now becomes a celebration shared by the entire village. Photography becomes the emotional heart of the finale because of Unse's memory loss. Ever since losing her memories, photographs have become more than keepsakes. They've become proof that her happiest moments happened. She fears forgetting again someday, but every picture preserves another piece of the life she's rebuilding. Taha's promise that he'll remember everything for both of them completes her journey. Throughout the series, both characters feared losing what mattered most. Now they no longer have to face that fear alone. Even if memories fade, love doesn't. Although Our Sticky Love features gang conflicts, betrayals, and shocking family revelations, the finale rejects revenge in favor of healing. Sang-il spends his entire life believing strength comes from winning at any cost. Only at the very end does he understand that real strength is protecting someone else even if they never know what you sacrificed. At the same time, Taha finally stops carrying the weight of everyone else's expectations. His grandmother frees him from his guilt, Unse gives him a future worth living for, and the people of Tafi village prove he's always had a family waiting for him. The final photographs perfectly capture the series' message. Memories may fade, tragedies may shape people's lives, and some truths may never be revealed, but happiness isn't built by clinging to the past. It's created through the moments shared with the people who choose to stand beside you. In the end, Our Sticky Love isn't really about solving every mystery. It's about learning that love, forgiveness, and found family can heal wounds that revenge never could.